Welcome to Relaxed Reddit Readings. Today we have 5 Reddit stories for you. Reddit stories that will make you question family, friends, and fairness. Story 1. I lied during a game of Mafia and now my husband's mad. So apparently I'm the villain for winning a board game too well. Let me set the scene for you. My husband and I had a bunch of friends over for game night, trivia, the usual stuff, and then we broke out Mafia. If you don't know the game, basically some people are secretly the Mafia, everyone else is a townsperson, and you're all trying to figure out who's lying through their teeth while the Mafia tries to blend in and pick people off. It is a game that is entirely built on lying. That is the whole point of the game. Now, here's the thing about my husband. I love him, he's a great guy, but he is the worst poker face I have ever seen in my life. When he's on the Mafia team, his whole body language just screams guilty. He gets shifty, he avoids eye contact, he laughs a little too nervously. Meanwhile, I get really into these games. I'm loud, I'm social, and honestly, I'm pretty good at lying convincingly when it's just a game. So this round, we're both on the Mafia team together, which never happens, and it was honestly kind of thrilling. We had to work together to take out the townspeople without getting caught. At one point during the discussion phase, one of our friends turns to me and goes, "Wait, are you and your husband both Mafia?" And I panicked a little, because if I said yes, we were basically done for, our cover was blown instantly. So I looked her dead in the eye and said, "No way, we're not even on the same team, I've been trying to figure out if he's Mafia this whole game." My husband was sitting right there. He didn't say anything, he just kind of went along with it, but I could tell something shifted in his face. We ended up winning that round, Mafia takes it, and everyone's cheering, high-fiving, the usual chaos after a good round. But later that night after everyone left, my husband brings it up. He said it felt weird that I lied so specifically and so confidently about us not being on the same team, especially since I said it directly to him too, not just to the group. He said it's one thing to bluff about your own role, but throwing him under the bus like that, even jokingly, even in a game, felt kind of crummy, like I was willing to sacrifice him to win. I told him that's literally the entire premise of the game, everyone lies, that's the fun of it, you can't take it personally. He said he gets that, but there's a difference between general bluffing and specifically making him feel like even his own wife would betray him without hesitation. Now I'm sitting here wondering, did I take it too far? Or is he just genuinely bad at separating game logic from real life? Because if you can't lie during a literal game about lying, what's even the point of playing? So tell me, was I the jerk for lying that convincingly to my own husband, even though it was just a game? If you're enjoying these stories, hit that like button and let me know in the comments which story you relate to the most. Story 2. I walked out of my own birthday dinner and I'd do it again. So I actually got up and left my own birthday dinner in the middle of the restaurant, and honestly, I don't regret it one bit. Let me explain what happened, because I know how that sounds. First of all, this wasn't even on my actual birthday. This was like a week later, my in-laws wanted to take the family out to celebrate. Now, I need you to understand something about me, I hate being the center of attention. Like, genuinely hate it. Public celebrations, people staring at me, singing happy birthday, all of that makes my skin crawl. It's just not who I am. So we're sitting at dinner and my in-laws keep bringing up the fact that it's my birthday dinner, they're paying, do I want dessert? On and on. And I told them straight up, clearly, no thank you, I don't want dessert, and also, just to remind everyone, it's not even my birthday anymore, it was last week. My wife had actually already baked me a cake at home because she knows me, she knows I don't want any kind of public spectacle. She knows I hate having the spotlight on me on days like this, and she respected that. So I made it very clear at the table, verbally, out loud, that I did not want any kind of fuss. No singing, no candles, no staff coming out to clap for me, nothing like that. I thought that was pretty unambiguous. Well, apparently that message did not get the memo to my mother-in-law, because at some point during the meal, she quietly flagged down our waiter and told him it was my birthday. I didn't even realize what was happening until I saw a group of servers start walking toward our table with a little dessert, and I knew what was about to happen. And sure enough, they started clapping and singing happy birthday right there in the middle of the restaurant, other tables looking over, the whole thing. And I just felt this wave of, honestly, anger mixed with embarrassment. I did not ask for this. I explicitly said I did not want this. So I did the only thing I could think of in that moment. I got up, I said excuse me, and I walked outside to get some air until it was over. I came back and once the singing stopped and the servers had left, but the damage was done. Everyone at the table looked at me like I was the one who ruined the night. My mother-in-law looked hurt, my father-in-law was giving me this disappointed look, and even my wife seemed a little embarrassed, though she did back me up privately afterward and said she understood why I left. But my in-laws are now saying I overreacted, that they were just trying to do something nice for me, that walking out was dramatic and rude to the staff who were just doing what they were asked to do. I get that they meant well, I really do, but I also feel like I could not have been clearer about what I wanted, and it was completely ignored. This wasn't a surprise party, this wasn't some grand gesture, this was me explicitly saying please don't do this, and then them doing it anyway. So was I wrong to just walk out, or was that the only way to actually get the message across that no means no, even about something as small as candles and singing? Story 3. I got confronted for looking at a screaming kid in a cafe. So a stranger's mom actually walked over and yelled at me for looking at her screaming kid, and I'm still trying to figure out if I was in the wrong here. Okay, so picture this, I'm in a cafe in Berlin, it's a Saturday afternoon, and I'm just sitting there quietly with my laptop trying to plan out the rest of my trip. Nice relaxing vibe, coffee, background noise, totally normal cafe atmosphere. At the table right next to me, there are 2 women with 3 kids, and one of these kids, I'd guess somewhere between 1 and 3 years old, is screaming. And I don't mean like a little fussy whining, I mean full-on, non-stop, ear-piercing screaming. It was very obvious this kid did not want to be there, did not want to sit still, was having a full meltdown. And here's the thing, the mother is just sitting there chatting away with the other woman like nothing is happening. Not comforting the kid, not trying to calm them down, not taking them outside for a minute, nothing. Just continuing her conversation over this screaming child like it's background music. So after a while of this going on, I'll admit, I got visibly annoyed. I wasn't rude, I didn't say anything, I didn't confront anyone, but I did glance over at the kid and then at the mother a few times, probably with a look on my face that said, hey, is anyone going to deal with this? Which, I mean, is a pretty normal human reaction when you're trying to concentrate and there's a small human screaming next to you for an extended period of time. Well, apparently my facial expressions were louder than I thought, because the mother actually got up, walked over to my table, and said, and I quote, "This is a cafe, not a library, kids are allowed to be kids here." I was kind of stunned for a second, because I hadn't said a single word to her. I hadn't complained to the staff, I hadn't made a scene, I just looked over a few times. She continued on saying that I clearly have an issue with children and that I should maybe consider working somewhere else if I can't handle a normal public environment. At this point other people in the cafe were starting to glance over at us, and I just kind of sat there awkwardly, not really sure how to respond without escalating things further. I get that kids cry, that's just a fact of life, and yeah, a cafe isn't a library, I'm not expecting complete silence. But there's a difference between a kid having a normal moment and a kid screaming non-stop for a long stretch of time while the parent does absolutely nothing to address it. I wasn't asking her to leave, I wasn't asking her to shush the kid forever, I just reacted the way literally anyone would react to prolonged loud noise when trying to focus. But now I'm wondering, was my reaction, just looking over a few times with an annoyed expression, actually out of line? Or did she completely overreact by confronting a total stranger over some glances? What do you think, was I in the wrong for just looking? Story 4. I confronted my daughter's bully and now I'm the bad guy. So I messaged my daughter's bully directly, and now apparently I'm the villain of this story. Let me back up and explain what led to this, because I don't think I did anything wrong here, but I want you to hear the whole thing. So my daughter had this friend, and I use that term loosely at this point, who had been messaging her all summer, basically tormenting her. I'm talking calling her names, saying things like nobody likes her, blocking her out of nowhere for no reason and then unblocking her later like nothing happened, just this constant back and forth of manipulation and cruelty disguised as, quote, pranking. Kids these days call it pranking, I call it bullying, plain and simple. It got worse recently when this girl called my daughter a name that I'm not even going to repeat because it was genuinely disgusting and completely inappropriate for kids their age to even know, let alone say to each other. And when I saw the messages, something in me just snapped. I know, hindsight, I should have taken screenshots of everything before I did what I did next, but in the moment I was just so angry watching my daughter cry over her phone that I didn't think about documentation, I thought about action. So I picked up my daughter's phone, and using her messenger account, I sent this girl a message. I said, hey, this is her dad, this isn't the first time you've done this, but it's going to be the last. Something along those lines. I was firm, I was direct, but I want to be clear, I did not swear at her, I did not threaten her, I did not say anything remotely inappropriate for an adult to say to a child. I simply told her that the behavior needed to stop immediately and that I was aware of everything that had been going on all summer. I figured that would be the end of it, maybe a wake-up call for this girl, maybe her parents would have a conversation with her about how she treats people online. Instead, what happened is this girl apparently showed the message to her parents, framing it as some scary adult man threatening a child, and now suddenly I'm getting messages from other parents in our friend group saying that I overstepped, that it wasn't my place to contact a minor directly even to address bullying, that I should have gone through the other parents first, or the school, or literally anyone else instead of confronting a child myself. And look, maybe there's a version of this where I handled it more diplomatically, I'll admit that. But at the same time, this has been going on for months, my daughter has been suffering silently through this, and when I finally saw the extent of it, I acted like a protective parent would. I didn't scream, I didn't threaten violence, I just told a kid to stop being cruel to my daughter. Now I'm getting painted as some unhinged parent who can't control himself, when really I'm just a dad who was done watching his kid get torn down day after day. So tell me honestly, was I wrong to message her directly instead of going through the proper channels, or is this just what happens when parents refuse to take action fast enough on their own? Story 5. I refuse to walk the family dog and my family thinks I'm the villain. So we've had this dog for 6 years, and I have never once picked up its poop, and I'm not starting now. Let me take you back to the beginning of this whole saga. During COVID, my kids and my spouse absolutely wore me down about getting a puppy. I want to be very clear, I am not a dog person. I never have been. I did not want another living creature in my house that I would need to take care of, feed, clean up after, any of it. I already felt stretched thin with everything else going on in life. But my family kept pushing, the kids were doing the big sad eyes thing, my spouse was on board with them, and eventually I caved, but not without setting one very firm condition. I told them straight up, I will never be in charge of this dog. I will not walk it regularly, and I will absolutely never, under any circumstances, pick up its poop. If we're getting this dog, that responsibility falls on all of you, not me. And everyone agreed. Fast forward 6 years, and to their credit, my kids and my spouse have actually held up their end of the bargain. The dog is well taken care of, it gets walked, it gets fed, nobody's neglecting this animal, I want to make that clear because I know how this sounds. I've even gone on walks with the dog and my kids plenty of times over the years, including during freezing cold, pitch-black winter mornings, just to spend time with them, not because I felt obligated to the dog itself. But recently, my spouse has started working earlier hours, and the kids have gotten busier with their own schedules, sports, school stuff, friends, all of that. And now suddenly there's this expectation building that I should just start taking over the morning dog walks since, quote, I'm home anyway and it would just be easier. And I said no. I reminded everyone of the original deal, I was very clear from day one that I did not want to be responsible for this dog, and everyone agreed to that condition when we got him. I held up my end by not standing in the way of them getting a pet I didn't even want in the first place, and I've been generous with my time over the years even without being obligated to. But now that people's schedules are shifting, I'm apparently supposed to just absorb the responsibility that was never mine to begin with. My spouse says I'm being stubborn and that families should just help each other out without keeping score, especially since we're all under one roof and it's not that big of a deal to walk a dog for 20 minutes in the morning. My kids are annoyed too, saying I'm being difficult over something so small. But I don't think this is a small thing. I think this is about honoring an agreement that was made specifically so that I wouldn't get stuck with a responsibility I never wanted. If I just cave now, what was the point of ever setting that boundary in the first place? So tell me, am I in the wrong for refusing to walk the dog just because everyone else's schedule got more hectic, or is a deal, even 6 years later? If you enjoyed these stories, drop a comment telling me which one was your favorite. And if you want more relaxed Reddit readings, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed these stories, like, comment and subscribe for more relaxed Reddit readings.